So we have 18 of the 21 matches for Showcase Mode confirmed based off that new trailer today. Let's get into it. Alright, so here are the 18 matches that are confirmed so far, and this comes via the SmackDown Hotel. And if you haven't seen it, they just dropped a new trailer. The reason why I'm not using footage from it, because my buddies over there on Off the Top, Kiro Valentine, and Just Brian, they've been getting flagged for using real footage, so I'm kind of a little gun shy, don't want to use it. I haven't gotten flagged yet, but I'm sure it's coming. So anyway, for this video, I'm just going to use pictures and go off this list here over on SmackDown Hotel. I'll leave a link for the new trailer for Showcase and this list over on SmackDown Hotel. So shout outs to them. All right, so the first match that has been confirmed is Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage at WWF WrestleMania 3. Now this is an amazing match. This is one of the matches that when I was training to become a wrestler, if you didn't know, I wrestled for 6 years. Wasn't very good. So if you find footage, let me know, because I don't think there's any out there. But yeah, this is a match that would have a study because they hardly call anything in the match. They just react to each other, and it's one of the greatest matches as far as wrestling is concerned in history. So check it out if you're trying to become a real professional wrestler. Next up is Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for WrestleMania 3 with Bobby the Brain Heenan. And this also confirms wrestlers in here. So let's go back to Steamboat real quick. It says with George the Animal Steel and Miss Elizabeth. So that means they'll probably both be in it. Hulk Hogan versus Andre, Bobby the Brain Heenan. We already knew that. Then number 3, Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior. We saw that footage. When I first saw that Ultimate Warrior, I'm like, is that the only new Warrior we're getting? But no, we get his best attire, and I'm super happy about that. I made a video on that too. And this is with Bobby the Brain Heenan again. So we get Rick Rude, and that was WrestleMania 5. Then match number 4 is Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage. Hulk Hogan's probably going to be heavily featured because he's such an integral part to the history of WrestleMania. Love or hate the guy, can't deny how much he helped the company skyrocket back in the 80s. Anyway, Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage is the 4th match. World Heavyweight Championship, WrestleMania 5. The 5th match is Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. This is my favorite version of Ultimate Warrior. The match wasn't that great because it was 2 power styles, but it was better than the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar match. And speaking of Brock Lesnar, we'll get to that at the end of this after we go through all these. So yeah, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Championship title match, WrestleMania 6. Bret Hart versus Rowdy Piper, Intercontinental Championship. So we'll get the WrestleMania, I believe it's, WrestleMania 8, I suck at Roman numerals. WrestleMania 8 attire of Rowdy Piper and version. And we're getting a different Bret attire too, because it's been the same Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, and Macho Man attire for the last 3 games. So that's cool. We're getting a new Bret. That's awesome. All right, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels is the 7th match. And it's that awesome ladder match. That was such a good match. WrestleMania 10, which means we'll get the tires from that match too. Bret Hart versus Steve Austin for the 8th. And this is that awesome submission match, I believe. Is that the one where he was all crimson? I believe that's the one where he passed out because he didn't tap out. He just passed out because of the blood and all the stuff. So that was awesome. WrestleMania 13. Number 9, Steve Austin versus The Rock. WrestleMania 17. That's and what's really cool is look at all these venues I'm talking about here. These are all going to be available arenas to play in the game. We might not need another wrestling game. I've been saying this for months, or for a month since they've revealed this thing. We might not need another game next year. I mean, how are they going to top it? Because they're going to take out a lot of these arenas. Anyway, back to the list. Let's see where we at. Number 9. Okay, number 10. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 20. Now, this is on my wish list. If you watched my video on the matches I was hoping would make it into the list, this is one of Eddie and Kurt Angle's best matches. Is one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. It was freaking awesome. So I'm super hyped and happy that that made the list. Number 11, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. Another awesome match, and we'll get the attires from that too. And the arena of WrestleMania 25, so that's awesome. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins is the 12th match, WrestleMania 31. Nice. Is that the one where he launched Seth into the stratosphere and he did the RKO? Like he was trying to do a curb stomp and he jumped off of him. That was like one of the best RKOs ever. I hope that's in there. That's going to be awesome. The 13th match is Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. So Ronda Rousey is confirmed. I didn't think she'd be in it this year. So Ronda Rousey is a character or wrestler I didn't think would be in the game. So that's cool. She's in the game. Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, WrestleMania 35. That's the one where they botched the ending, I think, where her shoulders were clearly up. And when they showed the replay on the Raw after, they blipped it out. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, that was a goof. Yeah. Number 14, The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Firefly Funhouse match. Now what's cool about this is in the trailer, they show a bunch of different versions of John Cena throughout his career. So that means we're going to get all those attires probably unlockable for the base game. So that's cool. So we're going to get a bunch of different attires. Hopefully they don't treat it as different versions of him and it's just attires, because honestly that's how it should be. So that's cool. So we're going to get a bunch of different versions of John Cena yet again, because I believe there was like 8 or 9 in the last game. The 15th match is Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. That was an awesome match. It was cool seeing Steve Austin come back out of retirement. He did such a great job in that match. I don't think Kevin Owens will ever top that for him personally. I mean, holy hell, dude. You got to wrestle Steve Austin at WrestleMania in a main event. I mean, that was awesome. So that's super cool that's in there. So that means WrestleMania 38 Arena will be in the game. Number 16 match is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. SmackDown Women's Championship, WrestleMania 39. Obviously, that's going to be in there because that's last year's WrestleMania match. But it also means we'll get those attires. Number 17 is Bianca Belair versus Asuka, WrestleMania 39. So we'll get those attires. It showed that in the trailer too. And then number 18, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. For there's a lot of WrestleMania 39 ones on here, but that is a cool arena. It's just, why are they having matches that happened last year? Probably playing it safe. So let's go through here and count real quick. How many matches are from last year's WrestleMania? 1, 2, 3. Going up here. Only 3. Okay. But yeah, and there's one thing you need to notice from this list so far. There's no Brock Lesnar. So there's 3 matches left, and the SmackDown Hotel thinks these 3 are the possible matches, but I think those 3 matches are probably Brock Lesnar matches. So the 3 Brock Lesnar matches that are probably it will be Brock versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 19, Brock versus The Undertaker, where he defeated, ended the streak, and I don't know what the third one would be. Probably him versus Roman Reigns in that title unification match, which happened at WrestleMania 38, I believe. So those are probably the last 3 matches. That's my guess, but here is SmackDown Hotel's guest. Well, it's Hulk Hogan versus Mr. T Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Rowdy Piper and Paul Orndorff, Special Enforcer Muhammad Ali. That makes sense because he's in the game. Why else would he be in the game? The next match they think it is Kane with Chyna versus Triple H. WrestleMania, I believe that's 15. And then the last match they think it is Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21. Yeah, that could happen. I wonder if these are like backup matches that they could swap out for the Brock matches if they do have to remove Brock. So that could be a thing. I mean, if they need to get it done, they could get it done. TKO will probably give them the money to get it done, but I don't know. I think the last 3 matches are Brock matches, and it's the 3 I listed. What 3 matches left? Let's see, 18, 19, 20, 20. Yeah. I suck at math. What 3 matches do you think are the last 3? Do you think they're Brock matches like I do? Sound off the comments below. Are you happy with this list? And stay frosty.